This has to do with in the state of Virginia. Now, we talked about in Virginia before that they went all Dem, the Democrat control of the state of Virginia. Governor's mansion, House, or they have two different names. They don't call it House and Senate delegates and whatever it is. The point is, they're all Democrat controlled. And the Democrats have lost no time, wasted no time in jumping in for a radical gun control agenda. And so this is kind of a wake-up call to people around the country wondering what would happen if we this fall in 2020 were to choose one of the gun-grabbing Democrats who may become president of the United States. What would happen? Well, in Virginia, they first of all, today, this particular day today, happens to be a holiday in Virginia every year called Lobby Day. What's happening in Virginia today with this gun rally is consistent with or part of what they have regularly called Lobby Day. It's basically everyone goes to the Capitol if you want to. You go to the Capitol to lobby on what it is you care about. Whatever your issue is, I'm sure there are hundreds of them. But because the Virginia legislature is moving rapidly towards gun control, gun confiscation, scaring the daylights out of rational, reasonable, responsible gun owners in Virginia, causing them to realize, my gosh, this Democrat government really means to take our guns away. So there's a gun rally in Virginia today. And I want to tell you about it in a moment. It's ongoing today, and this is it's a really tough thing in Virginia because I think heartland Virginia, you know, the heartland, the middle of it, the old Virginia, and the farms and ranches, people have been there forever. These people are just at their core basic American citizens. They're conservative basic American citizens. They cannot believe what's happening to their state. You have the northern part of the state, with more and more people moving out of Washington, living in the Virginia suburbs right outside of Washington, D.C., bringing their leftism to their state. And you have more and more leniency with respect to the growth in the citizen population in Virginia that are new citizens. People coming to America have gotten citizenship, and many, and I've forgotten the number now, and have it in front of me, something like 30% of the Virginia voters have been here 5 years or less. That's probably not accurate. Don't quote that. But it's a significant number. And the point of it is that people moving into Virginia have no sense of the history of the importance of the Second Amendment, what it means, what it stands for. And so they have voted themselves a very left-wing government. So first I want to start, Matt, the very wonderful. I sent you a tweet that was by an NBC News reporter about this Second Amendment rally. And so the Second Amendment rally is happening. And of course, the leftists are going to show up to protest against the Second Amendment, people who are in Richmond to support the Second Amendment. So we have a tweet from a reporter, NBC reporter, Ben Collins. And I don't know, Matt, if you have that tweet, but here he is. I can tell you what this guy had to say. This is a tweet by an NBC reporter. Reporters covering tomorrow's white nationalist rally in Virginia, I'm absolutely begging you, verify information before you send it out tomorrow. Even if it's a very sensational rumor you heard from a cop. Don't become a hero in neo-Nazi propaganda circles with made-up stuff. Please understand what this guy is saying. This is an NBC reporter equating people showing up to support their Second Amendment rights, to speak up about the Virginia legislature as they are poised to begin gun confiscation, fully backed by their governor. And these people are saying, wait a minute, this is America. We have a Second Amendment right. And because the media and the left, the whole cabal of the left, the Democrat Party, the media, the leftists, all of them deplore the Second Amendment, they deplore that spirit of freedom in America, which is what the Second Amendment is about. And I'll say, put a comma here, the Second Amendment is there in the Constitution to protect the right of the people against an overly aggressive, abusive government. The Second Amendment exists to keep the balance of power between the people and the government. Second Amendment is also handy for people who like to go hunting, people who want to use a gun to protect their homes or protect themselves in public, or take out a shooter who's trying to kill people in a church or a store. Lots of good reasons for a Second Amendment. But the core reason for the Second Amendment is to protect the people, to give the people a means of protection against an overly aggressive government. And this is exactly what's happening in Virginia. So Mr. NBC guy tweets out that equating Second Amendment protesters, Second Amendment advocates, with, as in his terms, white nationalist rally, calling them neo-Nazis. So a great thing happened at that rally, which was there was a black gentleman, a citizen of Virginia, a supporter of the Second Amendment, and he showed up at the rally and participated and gave a little interview, a little clip about why he's there speaking up for the Second Amendment. I want to have Matt the Wonderful play this guy from Virginia at the gun rally.
Okay, why am I out here? Basically, I'm out here because I got roped into it by the group of guys you see standing to my right. But the real reason I'm out here is I do not support in any way, shape, or form Governor Northam's and the Democrats' gun control. What I also don't support is the fact that every news piece you've seen on this weekend, they've always brought up the issue of race, as though it's nothing but white rednecks and hillbillies out here who care for the Second Amendment, when actually Black Americans, Asian Americans, Hispanic Americans, Americans in general care about the Second Amendment. I work at a gun store part-time, and I can't tell you the number of customers I see of all races, all colors, all creeds, who care about the Second Amendment and who just want to peaceably live their lives, enjoy their rights, and the Second Amendment. So that's why I'm out here. And big media, mainstream media be damned. If you take a good look at me, you can see I'm a black American, and all I'm out here for is to enjoy my Second Amendment rights. That's why I'm here.
Okay, I love that guy. I actually tried to find his name. I never found his name. He's someone who's at this rally in Virginia. But I want to close the discussion of this particular issue in Virginia by letting you know a really pretty serious thing. Now, we're going to find out by the end of today what, if anything, happened in terms of violence. I hope no violence happened. That would be terrible if any violence happened. But I want to tell you there was a Republican member of the Virginia State Senate, a woman Republican member of the Virginia State Senate. Her name is Amanda Chase. Amanda Chase, who supports these Second Amendment supporters, who's in favor of the rally to protect the Second Amendment. She put out a warning on Facebook on Friday. She said to the thousands of Second Amendment advocates who are planning to attend the upcoming massive pro-gun rally in Richmond, she's saying they are being set up. This group that organized this, the Virginia Citizens Defense League, organized the event on this lobby day in Virginia. She actually said, and these are the words of a Virginia state senator, tens of thousands are expected to show up for the event Monday in Richmond. Given the contentious nature of the issue, the prospect of such a large event has raised tensions. Earlier, Virginia Democrat Governor Ralph Northam declared a state of emergency before the rally even started. Declared a state of emergency, and recent arrests have further raised those tensions. She says, sadly, I am posting knowing that the governor of Virginia has declared a state of emergency in our state. And then she goes on to point out, if you people show up wearing any kind of uniform, patch, or other symbol on your clothing signifying that you belong to a militia, and then something goes wrong, you could or will be held as a domestic terrorist. The governor, using the media, has already set the stage for this to happen. He has already laid the groundwork to make the entire movement look like insurrection. It will be used to put the rest of the nation on notice of what will happen to you if you resist. They have used the Southern Poverty Law Center over the last 15 years to lay the groundwork. They've labeled us as potential domestic terrorists for a long time now. She goes on and on. This article is also on my website, americacanwetalk.org. On the homepage, under shows, drop down list of links. You should read her entire statement. I'm making the point to you that people, even though they're responsible, this is not just a random person on the street. This is a woman who managed to get elected to the Virginia State Senate. She's warning the people of Virginia, the governor, Northam, the left, the media, the Southern Poverty Law Center. They are trying to set up gun supporters, Second Amendment ralliers, to be arrested and accused as potential terrorists. She's saying Northam is deliberately doing this, trying to characterize people who would dare stand up for their Second Amendment rights as somehow dangerous terrorists. And I'm telling you, folks, this is a great thing to watch wherever you live. Watch what happens in Virginia and spread this segment of this show around to your friends. Understand where the left is headed when they say they use really polite expressions like, we just want reasonable gun control, just a little bit of caution, just a kind of, common sense gun control. There's, in the left-wing mind, there is no such thing as a limitation, a common sense limitation on gun control. And again, the Second Amendment is in the Constitution, not so you can perfect skeet shooting, not for hunting season, not even for protection of yourself and your home against thieves and murderers. It is in the Second Amendment to keep the balance of power between the government and the people. And this is what the government of the state of Virginia does not want. He and the Democrats controlling that legislature are about gun confiscation. You got to understand where the left is coming from.